all you freaks out there. This is Ryan.
And this is Rhonda.
Welcome to the Freakin Awesome Paranormal Show.
Woohoo!
And I want to wish you guys a very happy National Cherry Day for all you cherry lovers.
Now, isn't that interesting? Because I was at the grocery store earlier and I picked up a big bag of cherries and I had no idea.
You were celebrating.
Cherries are just good this time of year. They're sweet and they're good.
Yeah, I guess, is this the cherry picking time of year?
I guess. I don't know. I just know at this time of year, like July, August is when they're really sweet. So.
Yeah, I know there are other connotations that go along with cherries. So I'm sure there are other people who love cherries for a whole other reason. Yeah. You got the cherry picking and the cherry popping, you know.
Picking and popping.
Remember the cherry popping daddies? That big band swing group that was out back in the day. They sang Zoot Suit Riot. Zoot Suit Riot. Riot.
Okay, yeah, I've heard that.
Yeah.
I've heard that.
Yeah. Their one hit. Remember that was a thing back when the big band
well, you need to pick that for the next show.
Yeah, Howie picked that for the next show.
Oh, he already did?
Yeah.
Shoot.
But there was a time back in like the early 2000s where swing music made a comeback. And they had like, you know, the Cherry Poppin' Daddies and Bryant Stelter Orchestra.
Right.
Big, and there are like swing dance classes you could take back in the day. Back in the day, like the early 2000s.
Daddies brings nowadays, which is
that would not fly.
Would not work. It would just not work.
Nope. Not really allowed to express yourself too much these days without getting in trouble or somebody having an opinion over it or something. It's just
yeah.
So how was your one other thing. It is, of course, I don't have to tell you this, but it is Guinea Pig Appreciation Day. And I think we all need to sit back and reflect and appreciate the guinea pig. So this show is be dedicated to all the guinea pigs out there.
Oh, mercy.
And it'll be the Freakin' Awesome Guinea Pig Show. Hope the Ryan and Nick from Paranormal Theory have some good guinea pig stories, because I'm switching the whole thing. We're just going all guinea pigs all night long. Hope you're ready for this. Let's see how all the viewers is going down as I say that.
We should say hi to our viewers. So hello to Teresa and John Sullivan and Shayla Rickard and Courtney. Hill City Paranormal in the house, FBRI in the house, all our friends.
Yeah, Shayla, Stray Cats. Yes, Stray Cats Strut. I could never figure out how they would tie the knots with their tongues. Angie can do it. And I was always impressed. My tongue is not that talented. Not with that anyways. But I'm not able to do that.
You're killing me, sir. You're killing me.
Oh, so, you know, this is a family show. We do try to make this family friendly.
Are you sure anymore?
Maybe not tonight. But there is a point in the time where we tell the kids to go in the other room or parents put earmuffs on, because we're going to learn a new old word we need to bring back.
An old swear word.
Yes. So, and these guys realize that this could get us canceled. And hopefully nobody will tell the FCC. They won't come after us. They won't send us a mean worded letter, which, you know, we hate mean worded letters here at the Freakin' Awesome Paranormal Show. But we have to do this because we're expanding our vocabulary here, guys. So the words it's 3 words, and be careful where you use this, because in polite society, you might get shunned, might get frowned, might actually get kicked out of the establishment you're in because of just how vulgar this phrase is. You ready for this? Great horn spoon. I'm sorry.
Great horn spoon.
Great horn spoon. That's another term for by God. And I know by God was a curse, but maybe use the word God.
God, yeah. Lord's
God.
name in vain.
Yeah. But if you want to do that,
you
just, well, great horn spoon. That was a nice piece of paranormal evidence you got there. I guess it's kind of like great day in the morning. Great day in the morning.
Well, if God darn was a problem, maybe the horn is the devil. I don't know.
Great horn spoon.
Great horn spoon.
And since we did not have a word on Sunday, I'm going to give you another one for free. Again,
okay. Put them in my back pocket for when I need them.
Yeah, this could get you in trouble. But if you know someone who is always makes bad choices, you call him a fop doodle.
Fop doodle?
Fop doodle.
Oh, see? Fop doodle.
Fop doodle.
I've got a new nickname for Tyler Darnell. Fop doodle.
Fop doodle. Teresa, I don't know what kind of laws they have up in Canada for swearing. So just be careful with how you say it and when you say it, because I don't want you to get in trouble. Great horn spoon. It carries a lot of weight. It's very heavy. So just be careful when you use that word. Okay. Just a PSA brought to you by.
Make sure you mean it when you say it.
You can't
out willy-nilly.
You can't put that word back in the bottle. Once it's out, I could say Great Horn Spoon Paranormal Theory has got some awesome videos on YouTube. Yeah, I could say I don't mean it, but it carries a lot of weight. So you got to make sure you mean it and you're ready to throw it out there, because once it's out there, you can't take it back. And people have that shit. They'll bring it up. They'll look in your past. They'll see it. So just be careful.
And only call your dear friends a fop doodle.
Yes. And only say that.
It's a term of endearment.
Yes. Yeah. You give you like she's my bitch. She's my fop doodle. You say it because you love the guy. Kelsey Page is in the house. You got Sean. You got Courtney.
Got Michael Brooks. Shonda.
Woo!
Everybody joining.
Full house. We're like Danny and Uncle Jesse over here. Full house.
It's all about the swear word.
Yes, they tune in for the swear word, then they leave. Okay, I got my. They tune in to the swear word and for the cards to speak to them.
By
the way, which is about to happen now. So,
all right,
Rhonda is going to.
We shuffle and see what the cards have to say today.
Yes.
See what we get. I'm still using the Halloween Oracle deck because it's beautiful. And who doesn't want a little spooky season right now in our life? Okay.
Yes, the C word. That's like for some reason that's like the worst word you can say to somebody.
Yeah. Okay.
The female persuasion.
All right. So we got the Mummy card, which is change. So I think when I look at this, to me, the Mummy change card means sometimes if you're ready, you're the only person who can make something different in your life. You're only the one who can force issues if you're not happy where you're with. And sometimes it's okay to step away from what you're doing and step away from everyone while you figure out what it is you need to do to get to where you want to be. And that's okay, because the ones that love you will still be there when you're out of your mummy stage. So that's the cards have spoken. It's okay to take some time to yourself and step away from everybody else and figure out what the changes are you want to do in your life.
So take what the cards have said to you, think about it, process it, and add it to your everyday routine. And the cards will be back next week to give you life-changing advice.
Yeah, y'all get 2 cards next week because I'll do one on Sunday and Tuesday.
Yes. Oh my gosh, double the cards and double the swear words for you guys, so you can have a colorful life and a colorful language.
Who knew?
Hell,
All right, Courtney said, I knew a guy from England that says the C word is a term of endearment out there. Shauna said, I love swear words. They say they use it like, hey, buddy.
Yeah,
we may have new nicknames for each other.
I got a friend Helena, she says that she talks like that. Well, maybe she doesn't say the C word all the time, but it's just like it gets someone to get offended.
Silly C.
You silly C. Yeah, it's interesting how certain countries have different like views on like I think a fag is like a cigarette in England or something. Yeah. Yeah, and someone said I was working at the beach one summer, and we're living in the house and a couple of kids came from England, and the guy was like, "I was pissed last night," and I thought he meant he was mad, because you think pissed, you think someone's upset. Like, what are you pissed at? No, mate, I got drunk. I was like, oh, okay, that's what. Yeah. So I don't know why the fag is a cigarette over there, but apparently it is. So anywho, we're done enriching your life with our colorful language and our cards here
right now, because now my mind is going, why is it not a cigarette here? And I think I figured it out. So we just need to keep going.
Piss is drunk here too. So we're going to talk to our friends. We'll bring on Rick and Ryan, Nick and Ryan from which I really enjoy. I really like Ryan's name. It's the best name ever. Onto the show, and we're gonna bring them on to talk about their views on guinea pigs, because that's what the show is about. Just kidding, guys. Just half the show. All right. First, we'll bring on Ryan. Welcome to the show, brother. How are you?
What's up, you fop doodles?
Oh my goodness! Happy National Cherry Day, and Nick, happy National Guinea Pig Appreciation Day, brother. Thank you so much for taking your time out of your busy day, appreciating guinea pigs, to come talk to us about ghosts and stuff.
Real quick with the guinea pig stories, I feel like everyone has a great guinea pig story, and like same thing as hamsters, because hamsters die in like crazy ways. We had a guinea pig when we were little, and our dog actually ate it.
Oh no!
Wow, that is a depressing guinea pig story, but
it's the only guinea pig story I got. So beggars can't be choosers.
Only guinea pig story I have is you used to go to the library, and there was a guinea pig in the library, and it used to be set out, in that big cage, and I'd pet it every once in a while. That's mine. How about you, Rhonda? What do you have?
I have no guinea pig stories.
Having cherry story? You told your cherry story already, so yeah. You bought some cherries today.
I bought some cherries today. We'll leave it at that. And maybe people have better cherry stories than they do guinea pig stories.
We have a guinea pig murder story over here. Guinea pig murder.
A murder mystery. Only it's not a mystery. We know what happened to the guinea pig.
Yeah.
Nick, what's the name under your name?
What, tactician?
Is that how you spell it?
Taction? This is taction. Well, what is taction?
Yeah, it says taction.
I think you're missing an I or something. An I and a T.
Gotta love AI spelling.
What he meant to say was tactician.
Tactician.
Yeah.
I'm gonna call you Taction from now on.
There you go. That works.
What's up, Taction?
Taxation.
There we go. So, how are you guys doing this lovely evening?
Good, man. Just tired. Was up all night finishing that video.
How long did it take you to edit the video?
They usually take me about 25 to 30 hours.
Damn.
Of like computer time.
Mm-hmm.
But I was up until 6 a.m. last night, color grading and doing all the putting the video together. That's the easy part. but then you have to go through the audio and make sure there's no pops. And if there is, there's certain things you do. And then every scene that, like every different cut that you made, you have to color grade it separately from everything else. So it's just like the time consuming stuff at the end.
And I think that's what people don't recognize is how long to put videos on YouTube or put them out, how much like work goes into doing that.
Yeah.
You really have to love what you're doing to put forth so much effort for a video like that. Where was the for those of you who don't know, Paranormal Theory are paranormal investigators, and they do put out great videos on YouTube. There you can find them on, go to look up Paranormal Theory on YouTube. And where was your last video filmed?
Norwich State Hospital. Yeah, we got PSA. We had permission to be there. A lot of trespassers, that people break into that place. We were invited to come film there, and we did. But that video came out at like 3 hours ago.
Hot off the press.
Yep. Yeah, you got us right after that video came out.
Yeah, editing is an unappreciated talent. I don't think I even realized till I started kind of getting in this field and doing the podcasting and talking to people and realizing like one night of investigation is like 40 hours worth of work to get it ready for consuming by the public. And so then you put in all that work and you don't know if you'll get the views or you'll get the exposure that you want to get. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, we try not to and it's tough because like I do the editing, so you always feel a certain type of way about like the video that you spent so much time doing. But it's just one of those things that you can't get too attached to one video because the algorithm's weird. Like our last video that we put out before this one was at the White Hill Mansion, and it has over 15,000 views.
Wow.
And we did nothing different. It just seemed to catch the algorithm. It got us like, I think like 1,200 subscribers just from one video.
Nice.
So it's really, yeah. I mean, like you said, it's really luck of the draw sometimes when it comes to the videos like that, you know. But it's good you do the same thing every time because you never know which video is going to hit, and you didn't want the video that you didn't do as well on to hit. Then people will be like, "Well, this video is not that great. I'm not going to see them again." But if you're very consistent, you know, it'll you know, people will see it, be like, "Oh, this is cool. I'm going to go back and see what they're doing next. So I want to follow these guys because I enjoy their camaraderie and stuff like that."
Yeah, and it's weird, especially in like the paranormal, because we don't really embellish anything. So we have videos where like not much paranormal stuff happens, at least like big stuff. But those videos seem to do pretty well because I feel like it has its own audience also. Because there's an entertainment aspect to what we do. And then there's also a aspect of like people who just like straight investigations, like seeing like some of the raw stuff where there's no music added and all you're hearing is the sound of the building. And we try to get a good balance of both.
And I think that's important so people understand how it really is. Like
a real investigation is boring. Most of the time, nothing's happening.
We do public, and we did one this past weekend, and it was like from 7 a.m. till 7 p.m. till 5 in the morning. And it's, you have to put that disclaimer out. We have and we know we're in a highly active, location. Sometimes it's off the charts. Sometimes it's the little flashlight coming on, and that's all you're going to get. You know, we know you're going to get something. We don't know what's going to happen. And it's a lot of pressure.
We've actually seemed to, we've kind of noticed that our smaller buildings that we've done are more popular and are bigger hotspots compared to the larger, more well-known places.
It's good being able to bring attention to the smaller locations that need the help. And it's if you can make watching an investigation fun, because it's, you said being there can be boring, but watching it can be boring because you're not experiencing it for yourself. But the fact that you make it on, the fact that you make it interesting and people want to keep coming back and watching your videos, that goes to show like how talented you guys are.
So do you guys think that the smaller locations are maybe yielding better results because it's not over investigated?
Yes, ma'am.
I mean, we noticed that too. So that's why I asked, because we have a location we do that's like, we're the home group, which I'm sure y'all, and we weren't there for like a month, and it was pretty good this weekend. And I just wondered what y'all thought about that. So what are your thoughts on why that happens?
Because as Ron and I we like to say this a lot and kind of tell people, they're not there for your entertainment. They're not there to put on a show for you. So unfortunately, when you do ask them to kind of perform and kind of like answer questions for you, we really don't know how much energy that actually is involved for them to actually answer or make knocks or do anything. So when they're constantly having teams on rotation to come in, I mean, we went to a very popular location. I mean, it's like one of the top 10 in the country. And I don't think we got more than a half hour worth of evidence just because they had two teams like the day before.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then we go to a place called the Grand Midway Hotel in Pennsylvania. And it's basically a hotel where the guy used to live in Hollywood. So he has a lot of people, and they give him haunted objects, and then he makes like themed rooms inside of the hotel. And that was one of it's such a cool place. And
was that the one with the vampire room? And
yeah.
Yes.
And they have, so in the vampire room, because when we go back, we want to rent the whole place out. And when we go back, we want to stay in the vampire room because you can actually sleep in real coffins.
That's so cool.
That's awesome.
That's so cool.
So like places like the smaller places, you should always keep them in your rotation. You do a couple big ones, get your name out there, and use the big names to attract people. But also using the small ones that people really don't know about. They won't click on for the name, but they will see that you have so much evidence in it. That'll bring the true fans to it. And that's why I think we like having the mixture of the big names and small names.
Yeah, like our next video is probably the biggest, most famous location we've ever done. It's the Trans-Allegheny Lunatic Asylum. We rent a towel out, so we're going to be investigating there in like a week and a half, I think.
Yeah, about like 2 weeks.
Yeah, so hopefully it's good. I hear a lot of really good stories, but I mean, we just want to do it at least once.
Yeah, sometimes it's about the experience of going places more than actually getting the evidence. Evidence is cool, but it's not guaranteed. But you're guaranteed, at least you're guaranteed to have an experience with your friends and at least have a good time. And if you don't, it's still a good story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's almost like a rite of passage for creators like us, where it's like you have the big names that people they'll always click on it, like Trans-Allegheny, Waverly Hills, the Conjuring House. What else would be there? I guess like the Hinsdale House. Like the people in the paranormal community, they all know these places. And that's why we were so excited and honored to film at Norwich State Hospital, because everyone knows about it. But if you try to look it up on YouTube, there's not many videos of that place, at least legally.
Speaking of Hinsdale House, Daniel Clace, his daughter's going through cancer, dealing with chemotherapy. They've got a GoFundMe page for her, so you guys go check it out. Donate whatever you can, help them out, even if it's just $1. You know, it helps. So for sure, that's a great place. He's a nice guy. He's come on the show a couple of times, and I've been out to Hinsdale House. I've been to the Bel Air House, and it was a great experience to go out there and travel out of your comfort zone and go places that are not necessarily close by to where you are, because it helps, you know, build your experience up. Even if you don't get that much stuff, it's still a cool thing to go do.
Yeah, I think our farthest location has been Old Hospital on College Hill.
I want to do that one.
Yeah, that's a cool place. And then the very next night we did Sweet Spring Sanatorium.
That's one of my favorites.
Yeah.
That's one of my favorites.
We're telling I keep telling Cindy we're gonna be back, so we have to pick a date that we're gonna go back and film there again.
Once we get the ownership straightened out, which is happening right now as we speak, you guys gonna come out and visit the cabin on 360?
Yeah, I've been telling Nick about that.
Yeah, we need to have you come out here and join us for an investigation.
Yeah, that'd be really fun.
We can make it a twofer, because then I've got access. You know, my team has access to Bell Grove Plantation and Port Conway, which was the birthplace of James Madison. So,
oh wow,
a lot of history here for sure.
Yeah.
So, how did you guys get into the paranormal?
Go ahead, Nick, take it away.
Well, me, I've always dabbled kind of with spirits and everything, spiritually, religiously, and stuff like that. So I've always kind of looked into it and seen if there was ever true evidence of stuff past death. So I always kind of studied it and researched it. So always had kind of an interest in it. But what really got me into it, I was doing I was just going four-wheeling through Batstow Village, through the Jersey Devil territory. And I had this 7-foot figure walk out behind me in the middle of the forest, stared me dead in the face. It turned and just walked right into the woods. Didn't hear it make any noise on the leaves or anything. The forest was completely dead. And that thing is pretty much haunted like my subconscious for a while.
Any idea what it was?
Yeah, I was gonna say, was it a spirit or a Sasquatch or an alien? What do you feel like it was?
Jersey Devil?
I want to say it was either like an elemental. So it definitely, because it had that dark and like feeling to it, because you always get that like pins and needle feeling in your arms. And I noticed it immediately that it was behind me, and that's what made me turn around. So I know it actually did manifest behind me. And it stood its ground, looked me dead in the face, and then just veered off. But like I said, I'm a woods guy. I'm a hunter. So when I ever hear the woods go quiet, I know it's something big or dangerous that's in the area. Yeah, we pretty much froze up. It was me, a Marine Corps buddy of mine, a National Guard guy, and another hunter, a friend of mine. And I mean, we all saw it. We registered it that it was there, and we didn't know what to do with it, because we didn't know if it was a spirit, if it was kind of just the moonlight looking on the tree the way we were angled. But when I was staring down a dirt trail, and I just watched this thing disappear. Yeah, that haunts me still to this day. So when we go into some of these places, I'm like, well, it wasn't as bad as that thing.
Yeah, there's something about something when you feel like it's an elemental. You don't know what it is, but you just know it's not human and was never human.
Yeah,
it's just this weird holy fop doodle.
Yeah, great horn spoon. That sounds like
great horn spoon.
Yeah,
and we've noticed that when we experience like seeing like a shadow figure like standing there, or something crazy happens to us, we normally don't yell or we never run. It's usually you just stand there and you don't know what to do. It's such a weird, like, unless you've experienced, you don't know what I'm talking about.
Right.
You know, sometimes you see things and your mind doesn't really process what you see until after it's gone, and then you're like, oh crap, did I just see what I thought I saw?
Yeah.
I can tell you a funny
story, time to run.
something like that. So going to the Grand Midway, Ryan and I had to experience, and this one was just weird. So we were on the second floor, and him and I heard a child scream from outside. I mean, clear as day, we heard it. So we go rushing down to the front door, open up the front door to see if anybody was outside playing or anything like that. And we happened to look to our left, and there was a gentleman in a rabbi's clothing with a flat-rimmed, like, circular bowler hat, almost like what the Undertaker used to wear in wrestling.
Yeah.
He
Like
had
the
that
kind you see in
same hat
movies.
on,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
but he was standing next to the door. We looked him dead in the face, and we were like, "Did you hear anybody screaming or anything?" And he's like, "No, I didn't." And we're like, "Oh, okay, thank you, sir. Have a good one." We went back inside. Him and I looked at each other like he was really there, right? And kid you not, we walked back outside and the guy disappeared. Gone. I have no clue.
And it was weird because like we were both feeling the same way about it. Like something was just off. And the way the Grand Midway is it's like a row, like kind of like row homes. And he was old enough to where we were only inside for like 5 seconds. There was nowhere for him to go. Like he wasn't going to reach the other side of the building. And then when we go out there, he's just gone. And I'm like, that was really weird.
Yeah. Well, why would a rabbi be out there anyways? You know,
Right.
just hanging out by the door. Just I'm gonna hang out here and see.
And it was weird because where he was standing, and we didn't notice it until we went back out, there was a cross that was like in the wood, like this big black cross. And I'm like, Nick, he was standing right here.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And it was just his mannerisms that were weird. We're like,
Yeah.
He just had like a plain face and he was just staring straight. Like
no emotion.
Yeah. And I'm like, you didn't hear the kids? And he's like, nope. And we're like, all right, thanks. And went back in. We're like, I don't know what that was.
That is crazy. Although it's, you know, I've had that happen at the cabin. I've seen things like outside the window, and I'll be with someone and like, did you just see that spirit go across? I'm like, yeah, okay.
Yes, it's happened to me a lot at the cabin. But you know, I feel like once you get in the paranormal, you're on like high alert, because this is not paranormal. A friend of mine and I, we were coming down a backcountry road late at night, and we see this little white rabbit on the side of the road, and we actually have to slow down because it's bopping, you know what I mean? And it goes off. So we get up like not even several hundred feet down the road. I was like, you saw that, right? She's like, yeah, it was a white rabbit. I was like, but did we really see it? Was it really a white rabbit?
Mm-hmm.
So we back up and we go back and we find the white rabbit. I guess somebody had let a domesticated rabbit go, and we called her son. We were trying. The next thing it ran off, but it was one of those things. It makes you like question everything you see anymore.
Yeah, we recently started investigating and filming in like straight IR. So like no flashlight, no light on the camera. We're trying to get like a good mix of it in, but we've noticed that activity just ramps up when there is no light and all you're looking at like through is your camera.
Now, do you feel like that gives you any like false positives because you're just like so laser focused, or?
So we believe that taking away one of your senses is going to heighten your other senses, right? So when you can't use your eyes anymore, your ears and just the feeling that your body naturally gets is going to pick up on things that you might not pick up on if you were so focused, like using your eyes, right? And those like when we talk about like our hair standing up or like getting goosebumps or being watched, those feelings are cemented into you from like cavemen days, like survival. Mm-hmm. So we always say, you know, we have REM pods, music boxes, Ovilus, all that. Our best tool is ourselves. There's a reason you're feeling that way. Yep. And I think a lot of people kind of overlook that to like, oh, well, it's just a creepy building. Like, yes, but you also have to understand your body. And I think that comes with time, really, of just going into these places and and getting used to what feels right and that feeling of, okay, something's like not bad, but off.
Yeah.
Do you think
So-
people rely on equipment too much and they don't trust themselves?
All the time.
So with that, we've been getting in contact with a lot of equipment makers and designers that are actually explaining how the devices are actually working more. And we're noticing that there is a possibility of a lot of false positives that you really wouldn't think of. So just saying, like, your REM pod can actually be set off by a walkie-talkie
Yes.
or a rogue radio wave. So you can actually be out in the middle of nowhere, but it could still send a radio transmission from a radio station and it still set it off. And that happens the same thing with like cell phone reception, that when the wind changes, you don't have reception on your phone, but when it blows towards you, you can have it. So we're starting to kind of almost back away from every single beep and bop that we're getting from the devices to immediately say that's paranormal. We'll kind of think it through and kind of debunk it.
Yeah, because you never know what, like you said, what can set it off. We set up wise cameras in the cabin last week, and for some reason a random radio signal came through. Never happened before, but all of a sudden we're listening back, and my friend Jason Gray caught like a half a second of a country station coming through on the wise cameras. Now, could it be a residual? Of maybe they listen to country music in the cabin, which they probably did. But there's also a possibility of it being, a random radio wave caught by the camera, and we happen to catch it.
So I see a comment, and I was just about to talk about this. It's from Teresa. She said, so if you stick a static detector besides the REM and they both go off at the same time, would that help? Absolutely, because a REM pod's going to pick up on your radio waves, and even like if I say this wrong, Lauren's going to kill me, but like radiation waves, I guess you could say. Now, Lauren Haunts, she developed something called a sear pod, and what that is it only goes off from static electricity. So a radio is not going to set it off, your cell phone is not going to set it off, and the first time we ever used it was a couple weeks ago at Norwich, and it didn't go off at all when other pieces of equipment were. So can it be like boring to watch, like something not go off? Yes, but the time where that goes off at the same time the REM pod goes off, it's more I guess, what would you say?
Concrete.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's a static, like it's sensing static electricity and not just, someone got a text message or something, even though we always use our phones in airplane mode because we use Spirit Talker.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that Spirit Talker is a whole different story. I'm sure we'll get into that. But I'm not saying don't use REM pods and all that stuff. Like, absolutely use it, but try to, I guess, capture intelligent answers when things correlate. Like our last video, Nick has the camera pointing right at me, and there's a dead bell behind us, which will go off from EMF or touch. And I say, Nick, something's walking next to that REM pod. I can hear it. And as soon as I said that, our music box goes off, and then the dead bell.
Yeah.
So the music box was in front of the dead bell. So what we're thinking is whatever this was walked towards it, set off the music box, and then the dead bell. Plus, those two things, they can't set off each other. The music box that we have will only go off when there is a temperature fluctuation with movement. And the dead bell is EMF and touch. So those things have nothing to do with each other. So we thought that was really cool. But like, those are the kind of things that we would present as evidence, I guess you could say.
No, I get that because this past weekend we had something that we were just in the what's going on. We kept getting a lot of mag light flashlight activity, which is usually pretty good. That's not as archaic as some things you can use, but usually those that's pretty something might have happened. But we had a flashlight sitting on top of what would be like a wraith pod or a REM pod. The flashlight was going off, but the REM pod wasn't, and the flashlight was right on top of it. So it's kind of like, shouldn't both be going off? And then at one time it did, so you were kind of like, okay, well that might make sense. So I get like you've got to figure out more than one piece of equipment. But like what you said, I feel more confident when I get something, I feel something's there, and you put a piece of equipment there, and it relays back to you. Yeah, there's something here.
Yeah, we like asking questions, like, if so and so is, if we're speaking to so and so, like, can you make this piece of equipment go off? And then when that happens right after you say it, it's like, could it be a false positive? Sure, but it kind of takes it away a little bit because it's like, what are the chances of that?
Right.
That's why we like using the little cat balls. Yeah. That's probably one of our most favorite pieces of equipment because, I mean, the only way that they really go off is by touch. There's nothing else that you can use to set them off. So when we start asking questions like, hey, if you're here, can you set off the cat ball? And then that goes off. That's one of those things that it's just like, yep, something's really here and messing with that.
I got a question for you guys. So we had this camera set up in the loft area of the cabin, and we had a cat ball set up on the rocking horse we have set up there. And there was a big thunderstorm the night we did it, and there was a big crack of thunder. And as soon as the thunder hit, the cat ball went off. Now, could that have been the thunder making that happen, or something else?
Could.
Now, see, with that being said, it could be the vibration depending on how close it hits. That's why, like, even when our cat balls go off, either you'll see Ryan or myself jumping up and down next to it just to show that it's not body vibration setting it off. But also with thunder and lightning, there is a lot of energy in the air. Mm-hmm. So something actually probably could have got charged that was on that rocking horse and actually set it off because somebody was actually on it.
And that's when we would ask questions like as a follow-up, like, okay, we use science and logic first to try to debunk everything because not everything's paranormal. If someone goes into somewhere and everything's paranormal, they're bullshitting. But yeah, like that's when we would try to follow up, like, okay, like let's get the spirit talker app. Let's see if we can get like intelligent responses or the Obulus, or, oh, if you set that cat ball off, can you hit the dead bell? And then like if the bell rang right after that, I'd be like, okay, now we might be onto something. That's two different pieces of equipment, right, that have nothing to do with each other.
Yeah, Howie or Ed Odell says, because he's the one who does this with me. He said we have 5 other cat balls that did not go off. That's what caught my attention. Yeah, we had cat balls spread throughout the room, and none of them went off.
So the one on the rocking horse did.
Yeah.
Correct?
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying that this was not paranormal, but could it have been that since the cat ball was on the rocking horse and they're not balanced, obviously, to rock, that's why that cat ball went off?
Yeah, it could very well be. That's what happened.
Well, speaking of storms, do you guys notice any correlation with weather activity that does seem to make things more active?
Yeah. Yeah, we've had, let's see, we had a thunderstorm right before, Norwich. We had a thunderstorm right before Penhurst, and that was super active. We went to this farm that we were the second team to ever investigate. Heather and Katrina were the first. And I believe us and Heather and Katrina are still the only people that have actually filmed there. And that night was like downpour all night. And you could see in the video, like, Nick's soaked because he had to go outside to help someone whose car got stuck. But that, I want to say that place is definitely active because of the stories that I personally know the owner. I know she wouldn't lie. So I know the place is active. But again, that's one of those places that does not get investigated. So probably the equipment that we bring in is confusing to them. They're kind of like, because we had REM pod hits, but they were weird. It was like beep, beep, and then it would stop, almost like someone got near it and they backed up and were like, what is this? And we tried explaining it to them. But we did get really intelligent answers through the Spirit Talker app and our Ovilus. So they figured out how to use them.
So there was a cat ball on a steel fold-out chair, no activation, and one on the window, still no activation. So I forgot about the one on the window. So, I mean, it's interesting.
So
yeah,
another thing when we started using, we were at a convention and a gentleman had 3D printed little rings that you could put your cat balls in to stop them from rolling. So the only way that you can activate them is actually by touch. So we've been starting to use those to kind of get rid of that possibility of like a shift in the floor or like us walking, just causing that gentle incline on like wood floors and stuff like that. So with the rocking horse, I mean, if the horse didn't move or if there really was no vibration through the house, which then transitioned to the rocking horse, then, like I said, it could be that something like child manifested to that rocking horse.
Have you ever been scared, like during investigation, like, or like, okay, I may want to leave?
Yeah, watch our video we put out tonight.
Oh, so okay. All right. No spoilers.
So did you scream or run? That's what I want to know. Scream or run?
No, we've never ran.
No.
You walk really fast.
So
you power walk at least.
So, I mean, I sent it to you as some of the evidence, I guess, that you could show or whatever. But we've always said that we're not scared of spirits. Now, can they scare you and startle you? Absolutely. It happens all the time. But I'm not afraid for my life with a spirit. Now, a place like Norwich that is broken into a lot, and there has been, I'm not going to say her name or exactly what happened, but basically an attempt at a life at Norwich. That's what made it even scarier, because I'm worried about the people that break in, or even like a homeless person that's just sitting in a room. You don't know what they're going to do. You don't know what their intentions are.
Or animals. Or
yeah. They have bobcats there.
Oh, wow. You don't hear much about bobcats during investigation.
Well, and that's the one gentleman that actually goes there a lot because he knows the owner. That's what he told us right in the beginning. He's like, hey, just to let you know, he's like, you could have squatters in here trying to just get out of the weather because it was raining. He's like, bobcats, there's a lot of buildings here. There's no windows. So he says they can try to get in there and hunker down. So every single noise that we heard, it was kind of like, all right, is that paranormal or is that actually somebody coming into the building? So it gave us a whole different fear through the whole thing, or a different anxiety that I didn't really have to worry about at every other property.
Yeah, and there was a bunch of times. I think there was twice on video that we actually check outside for other trespassers.
Because then you have a whole other thing to worry about besides the spirits, because someone else, some random person shows up. That's a lot more dangerous than a ghost.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah.
I'm looking for what you sent me, and I can't seem to find it.
So it was sent to you on that. It was sent through an email to. I sent it at like 5:30 in the morning.
Oh, let me look through my email.
That was when I was finishing up the video. I was like, I have to send that stuff over.
Well, Ryan's looking. I've been so excited for this interview with you guys, and I feel like we could do so much more. But when we posted it out, and Carrie Lynn Shellhorn is a dear friend of mine, and she like, oh my God, I'm so excited you have them. I just love them, and for her to say that, she is just the best.
Now we've had tons of support, and we're not even a year old yet, so to be invited to like speak to you guys, and I think we're almost at like 4,000 subscribers on YouTube and all that. It's been great. We're actually going to be a guest at an upcoming Paracon, so that'll be the first time we're actually a guest and speaking. It's some theater in Pennsylvania.
Oh my gosh, I'm gonna miss that. My team is gonna be there though as a vendor. Fredericksburg Paranormal Research and Investigations. We're gonna be as a vendor, but I'm teaching a tarot class that day, so
Okay.
I won't be there. Oh my gosh, that stinks.
So then we'll see you there.
I won't be there, but my team will.
Oh, you will? Okay, your team.
I'll be teaching here in Virginia, but
okay.
this is a good thing.
Yeah.
But yes.
Yeah, so it's
I
been
wonder if I can teach a class and get there in time.
yeah, do it. I don't know what time. So they want us to speak too. I don't know what time they plan on doing that or anything, but that'll be like the first time that we've been asked to speak. So I'm excited.
You can
That's awesome.
they can give us advice on how to speak when we do our Paracon in October.
Me and Ryan have one in October, so you can give us pointers.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, especially when we're new and we're still like, networking and getting our name out there and people are just meeting us. I know it's going to kind of be like you go up there and it's like, I've rarely ever talked into a microphone, so I don't know, like, do I hold it like this, how close? And I guess we're just going to kind of shoot from the hip and get people to ask us questions. I hope it's an easy crowd.
It should be. It should be.
Yeah.
Yeah, everyone's there to learn, especially if people coming from the public. They all want to know your stories. They're all interested in hearing what you have to say.
Kind of the same kind of questions we're asking you. So maybe you just start about how you started, and you just say, anybody have any questions? And they'll come out like, what's your favorite place you've ever been? Where do you want to go? So I think if you just kind of start to explain who you are and how you got started, I think it'll
go by really fast.
Good.
Yeah, and luckily we have Norwich to talk about, and then we'll have Trans-Allegheny. So like I feel like we can kind of carry a conversation with just those two places.
Yeah.
Ryan, did you find my email?
I did not find it.
You're Jack Finns or whatever?
Jack Finn 77.
Yeah.
Yeah. So is it 5 o'clock in the morning?
It was like 5:30.
Yeah, my last email was 5:04. Yeah, go ahead and resend it.
Okay. Would it be easier if I sent you the stuff in a Facebook message?
Yeah.
Okay. So excuse me while I'm on my phone.
That's
You're
professional.
allowed. You're allowed.
We'll forgive you.
But now, same thing like you guys getting to know us. What's your big experiences that you've ran into out in the field?
How the turntables.
Oh, geez.
Ryan, you've been at this longer than me, so you go ahead.
I mean, I was experiences at the cabin, of course, lots of EVPs from out there, seeing apparitions. A lot of my stuff has to do with like disembodied voices. One time I was I had gone down to the basement of the Brick Rancher to get something. I think I left a recorder down there or something, and we had used a fog machine, and we used the laser grid in the fog machine, and the we had turned the laser grid off, but the fog was still in the building. It was still in the basement, and we had the lights off. So I'm using my flashlight to go downstairs and look for the recorder. And I knew I was by myself because Dennis and the rest of the crew were in the cabin next door, And right behind me, I heard a girl's voice saying, "Hey." And I'm not gonna say I ran up the house, but it was a very brisk walk up the stairs and out the house because I am not dealing with that shit by myself. Anita's like, nope, not today, not today.
What, you don't want to do solos like we do?
Oh
No.
no. So maybe I felt if I was in that frame of mind, but I was already on edge because I was going in there by myself. So I was like, nope, and just because sometimes you get something you're not ready for it. Sometimes you got to go outside and collect your thoughts.
Yeah.
And then go back inside. Did not go back inside. But yeah, Teresa says, what is the scariest apparition you have seen?
I haven't seen a scary apparition, but so I've been investigating probably for about 5 years. With the team I'm with now, I would go to public events, and finally they're like, you should just come join us because you're always here. But anyway, one of my biggest experiences so far has been at Belgrove Plantation with the dead bell. So it's like 4 a.m, and as you know, the dead bell will just ring randomly. And it's calibrating, it's doing its thing. So we're asking questions, we'll get a ding, and I was with Hill City Paranormal. They were there as our guest, and Sean says, are we getting false positives? What are we getting? And I said, you know what? Well, let's ask it intelligent questions and see what happens. And so I said, okay, we hear you. Can you ring the bell 2 times back to back? We get nothing. And he asked, can you ring the bell 3 times back? We get nothing. I said, wait a minute. We're at a historical location. Maybe they don't know how to count. So I said, well, can you ring the bell 2 times like this? Ding, ding. Immediately, we got ding, ding. And so I sat there for a bit, and I said, it's me. I was like, for shits and giggles, because it's 4 a.m, can you ring the bell 3 times? Ding, ding, ding. And it goes ding, ding, ding. And I was like, holy moly. And we had video on it at the same time. So you can see there's nothing happening, nothing going on. So it was one of my best, like, oh my goodness. I had better words than that, more explicit words when it happened, but it was 4 a.m.
And that's cool because you're proving intelligence.
Yes.
Yeah.
So Ryan and I have 2 really big intelligent responses that we've gotten. So White Hill Manor mansion that we've went to, that is probably my top favorite location for being a old mansion. A place was built in 1713 was the original house. It was demolished and then it was rebuilt, I believe, 1723. And it's still standing to this day. I mean, this thing has seen so much history, so many different owners, good, the bad, the worst of the country, and the best of the country. So I was asking questions, kind of, is anybody here with us? Do you kind of understand what's going on? We were showing them how to use devices and asked if they understood what it was. Could you show me that you do by sending it off? Nothing was really happening. And through the history tour, they told me that the Hessians pretty much ran that house during the Revolution. So I kind of had a thought that maybe they don't speak English. So I started asking in German. As soon as I asked them in German through Google Translate if anybody was here and they would like to talk with us, set off the device. And immediately, as soon as I asked it went off. And then on our second trip that we just went back, I literally was typing it out. I'm like, hey, can you tap the REM pod that's behind me? And as soon as I finished typing it, it held the antenna in its hand and was just screaming at me. So I debunked it, because I was like, I'm on my phone on the internet. So it's sending signals. So I'm like, oh, is that me? So I'm like, okay, well, set off the music box that's on the floor. And as soon as I finished typing it, it set it off. So it is literally doing everything that I'm asking it in German, perfectly immediate after I ask it.
Yeah, it wouldn't do it in English. Nothing.
Nope.
Nothing went off until we used Google Translate to speak German, and then it's like, oh, okay, yeah, we understand what you're talking about. Even when we said beer in German or whatever.
Yep.
Music box went off. Like they came in the room and they're like, oh yeah, I want a drink.
That's cool.
So, and with that kind of going into that, it's like when you're doing your history tours or your beginning walkthroughs, always keep those little like notes just to kind of use it as a trigger object. Like I was down in same place in the same house. They had a speakeasy during Prohibition. So I was asking somebody, I'm like, hey, could you go get me a bottle of wine? And through the SB7, it came through. They're like, I love it. And they said, I'll be back. That they went to go get the bottle of wine for me. So we asked, we're like, can we have a round? And then there was a voice that came through that said, or two, right after.
Nice.
So it's amazing that knowing the history of some of these buildings going into it could just trigger these responses. And it's so interesting to see and confirm the history that you're getting on these tours.
That's awesome. So I'm getting your videos uploaded here.
Okay.
To YouTube. That's why I was looking at my phone. I was not trying to be rude or anything. I was trying to get everything.
We had it covered. Nick and I had it covered. We were just chatting.
Right here.
And before you play one of the videos, make sure
audio warning.
I want to make sure your audience isn't wearing like in the earphones.
Oh yeah, break the eardrums or whatever.
Yep.
It's the 47-second video.
Thank you, Kelsey, for watching.
Thanks, Kelsey.
Yeah, we need to come back out to the cabin and come see us. We miss you. We miss you out there. So the 7-second videos, they would not upload to YouTube for some reason. The two really short ones would not upload.
Okay.
So that's what I was trying to figure out. So the first, I guess they're both July 16, 2024. So I'm going to go ahead and let me go here. Excuse me. And share. And then I'm going to push it up. And guys, be ready. If you need to take your earplug.
So it's not this one. There's no screaming in this one. This one though is probably so. This is at Norwich in the lobotomy room, and this is probably some of our best evidence we have ever captured. And this is off of our new video that came out tonight.
Nice. So we're getting exclusive here, guys.
Exclusive.
So this is awesome. Thank you. This is great. All right, here we go.
I heard the thud. You came this way, and she darted into my back. And I went this way, looked here, and she's screaming behind me in murder. Somehow
What?
Watch what we do.
I thought I saw it because I saw like a white, but I didn't know. And I heard the thud. You came this way, and she darted into my back. And I went this way, looked here, and she's screaming behind me in murder. Somehow
touch me?
No.
Oh my god, my shirt just got
I thought I saw it because I saw like a white, but I didn't know if it was like
my shirt. The bottom of my shirt got grabbed.
You could see it get pulled up and then down. Yeah, that was nuts.
Now, to give you kind of context, and the next video that he probably gave you, the longer one with the screen, that short tug happened almost immediately after all that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Same room, lobotomy room.
Awesome. So I think that's the next one over. There we go.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh.
Okay, well.
Yeah. So my light just died.
didn't want to die. I know you didn't.
I don't think any of us really do.
Well, I think some of us understood that we do. I don't think the way this one went is the way they wanted to.
Yeah.
So here comes this scream.
What the
No.
fuck?
Nick, shut the fuck up.
See, that's how Rhonda talks when stuff like that happens. Rhonda's like, "What the fuck was that?"
That bang that you heard was the door that was right behind my head.
Yeah.
And something like, I swear to God, I've never heard a bang like that. It must have like punched the door, because when I turn around, you'll notice that the door is kind of open a little bit and then it starts shutting. So that when you asked us, have we ever been scared?
Yeah.
Yes, right there.
Yeah, I would be scared of that.
Yeah, that would make me kind of want to just go outside and get some fresh air, maybe. Again, collect my thoughts.
Yeah, and right after it happens, like you'll watch in our video where we're discussing it, and that's when the shirt pull happens.
Mm-hmm.
So it's almost like, and even in the video, you'll notice things just start ramping up. It starts getting weird. Like we start hearing footsteps above us that are like super loud. You'll hear in the video. Then it sounds like out in the hallway, they're like moving. Something gets thrown that we hear. And then that's when the light dies. And then the big bang behind my head on the door. And then when we're kind of talking about it and we're all trying to calm down, that's when the shirt pull happens. And I'm so glad that we had that static cam running, because, you know, I could have been like, oh, my shirt got pulled. But if it's not on video, people are like, okay, whatever.
It's more of a personal experience if you
Yeah.
can't share with people.
And I've been touched before, but we've never caught one of us getting grabbed like that on video.
Now, how
And-
long does it take?
What's
How long
that?
does it take? How long does it take you guys to recover, like after investigation, where it's like need a couple days, or to just process everything that just happened?
The paranormal hangover is probably about 24 hours at least.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I like to call it, because I mean, we've gone into some buildings. I mean, we've had a lot of experience, used our energy through the whole night, and you're constantly on edge, like you said. So when you're finally out of that high anxiety, high adrenaline all night, you do need some time to recover.
Yeah.
And especially, like, unfortunately with me, I'm the driver for the team. So every single place we go, normally as soon as we're done, we normally hit the road and drive home. So after an investigation, I'll have a 6-hour drive right on top of it.
And it's that sensory deprivation where you're just like half the time you're in total blackness. And so your ear, like it is insane. It's insane.
And it was weird, especially with Norwich. So it was a extremely humid night. Like you'll see in the beginning of our video when we're kind of talking about the history of the place, it looks like the lens is like dirty or fogged up. That's just how humid it was. And before that, we were going to film at the orphanage also, which is on property, but it's like in the middle of the woods. And we get out into the woods. It just gets dark. And the person that we're with, Drew, the Haunted Raven, he tells us, he's like, it's just up this hill. Well, we go up there and he's like, look for the water tower. Well, you could only see 5 feet in front of you. That's how foggy it was, like with our flashlights and everything. So we're basically lost in the woods. I'm out of shape. So I get to the top of the hill and like, I'm like feeling like I'm about to pass out and die. So then I'm like, let's just go back to Lippet and then we'll film there. We'll come back and we'll do another, episode in Norwich. I'm sure people don't mind that. So that's when we start our video. So if I look like death, if we all look like death, that's why. But it was so weird because like we're walking into Lippet and just how like foggy it was, it didn't feel real. It felt like you were in this little like fever dream. And that's what that whole night felt like. And even Nick will say that is a totally unique feeling that we've ever had before.
It sounds like it was just the right time for you to be there.
Mm-hmm. we
It was
picked the
definitely-
previous night.
I think it was definitely like our turning point, because I mean, not for nothing, I'll say it for myself. It's kind of like this was still kind of a hobby to me type of thing. You know, we were just doing this kind of like on the weekend, getting out there. And I love the support and everything, and the team's coming out and reaching out like you guys doing the podcast and everything. But after that investigation, it kind of like struck home that it was just like, this is a high honor to come here. You know, very few people are allowed to be here. You know, people asking us to be guest speakers and everything. So now it's putting my mind into it a little bit more that, you know, this is not just your hobby. This can actually go somewhere.
And Nick said after 1,000 subscribers that we're allowed to go to Kansas to film.
Yeah.
Because
Well,
we want to do the Sally house, the Garnett house, and the Whiteface house. So we're thinking maybe it will be sometime next year.
Those Midwest states have got some fucked up locations.
Yeah, we want to spend a week out there and just film. And hopefully by that time we're monetized on YouTube. So maybe like our views and everything can, like, you know, pay for a flight or whatever. And like that, when we started this, it wasn't about money at all. It's still not about money. We just love what we do. You know, Nick wouldn't drive 7 hours if he didn't want to do it. I wouldn't sit in front of a computer for 30 hours at a time, putting out a video that people might not even watch if we didn't love doing it. But if our end result is our travel and investigations and equipment is paid for, I'm perfectly happy with that. I don't need to make a living off of this. Nick is on the same boat. My sister, who was on the team, the one that screamed Emily, she's in nursing school right now, which is why she couldn't be on the podcast. But we're all in the same boat. Like, anything that we make isn't put into our pockets. It's put right back into these videos so we can share like this passion that we love doing.
It's a lot of work what you guys do between like getting sure the cameras are at the right angles and traveling out there. Then after that, you've got to go through all the footage, and it's tough because I mean, I'm watching videos from the stuff we did last week at the cabin, and I'm over here. I think I see something. I go back and it's not there. So now I'm like, the eyes are playing tricks on me. So it's like watching a 1 minute video clip is taking me like 5 minutes trying to debunk everything. It's like
there is so much footage that no one will probably ever see, just because it's just not used. If that's like maybe the camera wasn't looking right, or I didn't like the audio, or nothing's going on. So, you know, you see the best of the best in that hour video that we put out, but we have probably 15 to 20 hours of film on, you know, 2-3 cameras.
It's
And that's the thing, because you have to have something rolling at all times, either audio rolling or video rolling, just so in case something happens, that you have it. Because I mean, Ryan, well, we all experienced it, but Ryan was lucky enough to actually hear it at Sweet Springs. 6 o'clock in the morning, we're all passed out, and Ryan's the only one up, and he heard something almost like a table like fall upstairs, like a loud bang. He thought somebody was breaking into the building.
Yeah, so at Sweet Springs they have a gear room with like electricity and all that, and they also have beds in there, so people after their investigation can like take a nap before they drive, because this place is in the middle of nowhere. You have zero service on your phone. It says like literally SOS. There's nothing you can do. So we collabed with Medium Bianca Rose at Sweet Springs. So an ex-team member, Nick, and Bianca are all sleeping, and I'm like kind of laying down on the couch trying to close my eyes, but like I'm hearing things outside the break room, and I'm like, yo, as soon as I close my eyes, like something's gonna happen. I know it. So they're all asleep. I can hear them like snoring away. And I'm just like laying there on my back with my eyes wide open. And it was just the biggest crash I've ever heard right above me. And I'm like, yo, did anyone else hear that? And everyone, I guess when I said that, it woke them up. And they're like, no. I'm like, well, someone's breaking into the building. And Nick's like, we'll deal with it when it happens.
Oh my God.
I'm like, I am
That's
terrified. Something is going on. You guys didn't hear what I just heard. Like it shook the room, and it's like a cement building.
Like it's happening right now. What are you talking about?
I'm like, I don't know if someone's gonna, I don't know. But yeah,
Unless they're standing over us.
And what's funny is the footage that you saw of the shirt, we weren't really filming that part. That was more of like a personal conversation with us. And like Nick said, we have a rule now of we always have audio or always a camera running, like when we pack up until we get out of that building. So if we wouldn't have had that camera running, we would have never caught that.
Always film. Always have it.
And I was just lucky enough to be standing in front of the camera. I wasn't even thinking about that camera at that time because, like I said, we were discussing what just happened. And then I felt it, and I was like, and I'm like, my shirt just got pulled, and you can see my sister's nowhere near me. Like, she's not behind me. Nick's not even in camera. He's by the door that got hit. And it helps that I mention it. So if we take people that maybe have never been on an investigation before, we always say, like, tell us what you're feeling. Tell us what you hear. Tell us what you see. Because if I didn't mention that, it probably would have never even, I probably would have never even like looked at it to put it into the film, and I would have deleted it and would have been gone forever.
And that goes back to what you said earlier about trusting yourself, trusting your senses. Like if you feel something that's not right, you didn't feel before, trust your gut. Because I mean, I think a lot of people, and you're gonna take people on public investigations, they'll feel stuff, but they don't trust themselves to let people know about it.
Yep.
And that comes with time, though. Like just going into these buildings and spending hours and hours and hours in them. That you, like I said before, you know what feels right and what feels like kind of off or different. But it also helped that Nick even mentions in the video, like, I saw your shirt get pulled. So it helps. We put that video on TikTok, and it's doing really well right now of the shirt pull. And like, you have people that are like, oh, well, your shirt was just stuck on your pants or something like that. And then fell. But I'm like, dude, are you watching the replay? Because you can see it like two fingers, like it would be like two fingers
up and down.
up and then down.
Yeah.
If my shirt was caught, what shirt gets caught and it has like a point or whatever at it like that? Like that's not what it would look like.
Yeah, I think know-it-all people who just like to debunk things and just like to, kind of annoy me, because it's like, all right, we do this a lot. And if there was a chance of it being a shirt caught on your belt loop, you wouldn't have put it out there.
Exactly.
And
I wasn't even wearing a belt. Those are like joggers that I was wearing.
Oh, even there we go.
Yeah. So there was nothing, like my cell phone's in my pocket, my wallet's in my pocket. There's nothing that is on like the outside of like my waistline that could have caught. And like I said, we wouldn't have put it out there, and especially zoomed into it and put it out in the public if my shirt was caught. I've had my shirt caught on stuff that was not caught. I felt it get yanked.
Yeah, you experienced it. You felt it. We put a picture on Facebook of like a face that someone caught up in the cabin, that you could see it fog form into a face. And how many people were like, well, that's got to be pareidolia. There's got to be, reflection of the light, or an app or something. And you can clearly see the fog chasing into the face. And I'm like, we're putting stuff out here. It does us no good to put stuff out there that can be debunked right away. We there's a process we go through, just like you guys. We go through, and we're our own worst critics, because we want our evidence to be like bar none, you can't debunk it because we've tried every way to debunk it.
I mean, you can say everything's pareidolia.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh yeah, you can exactly. You can be like, oh well, if you don't want to believe it, you can really be like, oh, it's got to be swamp gas or whatever the hell they say.
Yeah, it's I obviously take like all evidence with a grain of salt that we capture, but especially as the person who's editing the films that everyone sees, I don't think people realize how strict I am with what I put into these videos. I'm only showing you stuff that we couldn't explain. There's tons of stuff that happens and I'm like, okay, well, it could have been that I don't even put in the video.
Right.
Yeah, like people rarely put like we see orbs. I know a lot of people will say they'll see an orb and they're like, oh, look at that. We rarely put them because we know lens flare, headlights from cars bouncing off of stuff that you really wouldn't notice. And also another thing too that some people really don't realize, your phone screens, the cameras on your phone,
a little green
out.
dot.
Yep.
Yeah.
And they'll just sit there and flash in your face the whole time. So very few people actually realize that is.
That's got me a couple times.
Cameras.
I'll be like, oh crap, and then I start realizing it's going with my camera as I move it around. Like, oh man.
Even when I was editing the Norwich video, there's a part that it didn't make the video, but kind of about this discussion about like debunking stuff, that Nick is sitting there looking down a hallway and he says that he sees a light on the ground, like it looked like it came out of the room and then onto the floor and disappeared. Well, we figured out that it was my sister's Apple Watch. And when she turned her wrist, it made the light go. But yeah, like we debunk stuff all the time. But you're only seeing stuff that we've already looked over. Is it 100% paranormal? No, there's no way to prove that. The paranormal isn't a scientific study. So getting into the whole like debunkers thing, that we need debunkers just like you need paranormal investigators. That's what keeps people honest. Yeah. But I think it goes too far when there's a couple channels where it seems more malicious than just having an open mind, because I've watched paranormal debunkers and it just seems like, oh, no equipment's real, no videos are real. Okay, well then do you believe in the paranormal or not? If you just say like, I don't believe in the paranormal at all, then it's like, okay, cool. But I just feel like a lot of people do it for content. That's just my honest opinion.
Yeah, I mean, if you can have an open mind about things and be like you said, not everything is paranormal, but if you're just going to go and just poo-poo on everything that anyone says is paranormal, it's like, well, it's not really an unbiased opinion, because no matter what we put out there, people are going to have something to say about it, unless you're there, unless you experience it. Say, I trust you that you guys were, that's what happened. You felt that and everything. I saw it, but I wasn't there. I didn't experience. Just like when I say things like my experiences, all you really have is your word.
Mm-hmm.
And, once that's gone, then nobody's going to believe anything you put out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and
that's why I like us that's why I like us showing the effort of us debunking it when we hear it, because at least if you show effort that you're trying to debunk it, it makes it a little bit more credible, or at least you kind of consider it a little bit more than just something just like, yep, that's what happens, it's ghosts. It's like, no, there's wind, and I work in construction, so I heard even my own house, I hear that crack and pop when it goes from 100-degree weather outside and it drops down to 80 because it's raining. The building's going to swell and pop.
Yep.
I've ran into some people that will, every single pop, it's like, oh, did you hear that? They're knocking. It's just like, yeah. And then I walk the hallway and half the attic is missing. And I'm like, oh, well, your attic's exposed to the air conditioner, so that's why.
Yep.
Yeah,
That's like the people who scream at like every REM pod hit.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing more that gets on my nerves about that. It's like that, and then people who label everything demonic.
Yes,
We
that.
can go into a
And I'm
whole
like, give me
about that.
a effing break, dude.
The Vatican doesn't even agree with that.
Demonic is the new hit word people like to use to get like.
How about if you were a cranky live person, you're a cranky dead person?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
We say that all the time. And even like, you know, I'm not saying demonic's not real. It is.
No, it's
But
for,
it's super, super rare. And 99.9% of people have never experienced a true demonic being. And I've always said and kind of had this thought of like, if you really 100% believe that something was demonic, you would never go there. You wouldn't.
right.
Because something demonic is going to ruin your life. That's what it's going to do.
Yeah, don't seek it. Yeah, don't want to seek it out.
I've been scratched.
Yeah,
Nick's been scratched, and that's not even saying that it's an evil entity that scratched us. A lot of these places we go to, people were nonverbal.
Yep.
So they could just be trying to get your attention.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
They're frustrated.
Yeah. I mean, I got scratched at a prison. Okay. Could have been a person that was not so nice in life, who's going to be not so nice in death, and scratched me as a warning. Like, get out of here. Okay. But then I've also been scratched at the White Hill Mansion and Penhurst. There's nothing evil at those places.
Right. Right.
But who knows?
Well, guys, it is 10:30, and we gotta leave room for part 2. And
yes.
I have so much more stuff we can talk about. About to have you back on so we can hear about your experience at the Paracon, and we'll tell you about ours.
Yeah, and then we'll be able to talk about Trans-Allegheny too.
There we go.
Yes.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, how can people get in touch with you and check out all your fun stuff you have?
So we're very active on YouTube. Obviously, that's our biggest thing, and that's going to be at Paranormal Theory. And then also Facebook and Instagram. So Facebook is just going to be Paranormal Theory. You'll find us. Our profile picture is of us at Norwich. It's me, Nick, and Emily. It's like there's like a bed in the middle. And then Instagram is paranormal.theory. And if you guys have any questions or whatever, shoot us a message, comment. We always comment back to everybody. We get back to every single person, every message, and all that. So, but yeah, definitely check out our YouTube channel. You guys will love the Norwich video, especially if you like those clips right there.
Yeah, I'm excited to watch it.
Yeah, Paranormal Theory. And then like the video, comment. It helps out with the algorithm, all that kind of stuff. So
thanks. Well, guys, it was awesome. Thank you so much for coming on and taking your time off of Guinea Pig Appreciation Day to come talk to us. I know we were supposed to talk about guinea pigs, and we got distracted by the ghosts and stuff. So next time when we have you back, we can have more guinea pig stories. And we'll talk about appreciation for cherries.
I'm definitely getting cherries.
There we go. All right, guys. You have a good night. Good luck at Trans-Allegheny. Looking forward to hearing all about it.
Yeah, thank you, guys.
All right, guys. Have a good night.
You too.
Night.
Thank you.
Bye. So that was awesome.
It was really. I've been looking forward to that all week.
Me too.
So.
Me too. I think they came on while we were talking to Paranormal with Drew.
Yeah.
With the Paranormal Raven.
Which I just love watching him too. I've been following him. He's so much fun.
God, that was in June. It feels like a lot longer ago than freaking June.
Gosh.
That Teresa, look at her. She's been with us the whole time. Which I call a fan. Thank you, Teresa, for hanging out with us.
Thank you.
For the long haul. Wow. Yeah. Does it feel like a long time ago to you too?
It does. It does. It feels like a while ago, but I think it's just the heat.
Yeah, it is.
Everything think it's taking longer. Like I'm a summer person, but this is brutal.
I'm a summer person until about July, and then
Yeah. Well,
I'm done. June 4th was Haunted Raven, a little more than a month ago. That's crazy. We've got Billy Lewis, the founder of Scare Network TV, coming on the show.
I'm excited.
On Sunday. Yeah, it's cool that you talk to someone who actually started like a network. So maybe Paranormal Theory should listen to the show and get on the Scare Network.
They should.
Yeah. They haven't seen Nick's right there. He knows what's up.
Bummed. I'm excited that I'm teaching a class, but I'm so bummed that I'm not going to that Paracon. I know John is going and everything. It's like, oh, I'm not going to get to meet them.
You're going to be where you're supposed to be. And
yes. I'm sure I will meet them elsewhere.
There'll be other Paracons.
Yes.
We're going to start getting out there, going to Paracons and stuff, looking.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Get out there and see the people, meet the freaks. Teresa needs to come down and come see us from Canada. So we've got Billy Lewis on Sunday. Then we got Dark Echoes Paranormal on Tuesday coming up.
Okay.
On the Freakin Awesome Paranormal Show. I will be on the air with Howie Odell tomorrow morning in the cabin on 360 doing the What's Going On podcast, which means I have some looking up some articles to talk about after I'm done here. So I'll be doing that. What do you guys have coming up on? I know you got the lockdown on August 17th.
Yep.
What do you have coming up on the Orion Effect?
Well,
you have the upload.
We have a week off. We're not doing anything. We have FPR has a private investigation Saturday night, so that's what I'll be doing. But other than that, we've got what we've got going on, and I think the following weekend, John and I are gonna venture to Gettysburg just for the day for the bash.
Nice. That's gonna be fun. I wish I can go out there. Maybe we'll go out there next year. It's tough because with RJ, he's 6, so he's rambunctious. So going out and doing stuff like that, going far away places is tough because you got to find hotels for him, and So hopefully we'll be able to get out there more often, and hopefully get Angie more involved in stuff that we're doing.
Yes, I'm excited to do that.
Yeah, so
she's fun when she's talking in the background. I just love it.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I try. Doesn't like to be on camera. I try to get her to come on, and
she could be like the teacher on Peanuts.
Yeah,
what I mean? She's always in the background.
Yeah. Long as she doesn't do like wah wah wah.
No, I don't see her as a wah 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 kind of person.
Yeah. So she definitely would bring a lot to the show. And so thank you everyone for tuning in. Teresa, Kelsey, CR, CJ, Howie, Tina, Courtney, Sean, Phil, everybody who tuned in tonight, Shayla, John Sullivan. Definitely appreciate it, guys. Don't forget to come back here on Sunday. We're talking to Billy Lewis from the Scare Network, and they actually came down to the cabin to do a documentary. Hopefully that'll be coming out soon.
Nice.
And you'll see yours truly on it, talking about the cabin. Hopefully it's leads up to more things with the cabin. I gotta talk to Dennis and see how that's going.
Yeah. I'm getting questions and I have no answers, so I hope that's going well.
Yeah, I'm sure if anything happens and it's not going well, I will hear about it. So maybe no news is good news for right now.
Exactly. We'll go with no news is good news.
Yeah. So, all right, guys. Thanks again for tuning in. Don't forget to come back here Sunday night, same freaking awesome time.
Same freaking awesome channel.
Hell yeah. That's what I'm talking about. You guys have a good night. We'll talk to you soon. Bye.
Bye.